this e-bike to the top of that mountain with one battery. So we're starting from my backyard. This is a trip that the Sur-Ron couldn't make, but I think with the pedal assist, this thing says it goes 60 miles depending on the weight of the rider and the terrain, obviously. So I'm gonna put it to the test. Worst case scenario, I end up pedaling home, and I am going to ride this thing like I would the Sur-Ron. Off-road, big rocks. We're gonna see what it's really capable of. This is the Turboant. I gotta say, I really like the controls of this thing. It's super quiet. Right now I have it on assist mode 2. On 5, it's basically, if you're pedaling at all, it'll give it all the throttle and you're not really helping it very much, which is kind of cool too, because you stop pedaling and it slows down a bit. And what's really cool here is you have a twist throttle that you can just jam on and cruise. So this has really got something for any level of effort you're wanting to put forward. It has 7 speeds for the gearing. So if you're going uphill, trying to go faster. Right now I'm trying to go fast. I'm just on the road. I'll turn up to power mode 5. I'm going way more than 3 miles an hour. I'll need to calibrate that later, but it's not too important for now because I got the top speed going on my phone. Let's actually bust that open so we can see how fast we're going right now. So we're on speed mode 5, gear 7, just flying. I'm really doing nothing for the pedals. So yeah, 25. I'm going the speed limit right now, that's for sure. It feels really nice just cruising on the street. I'm excited to see what it will do on the downhill sections with big rocks and all. That'll be really fun to see. My app just kicked in. We've done 5 miles, averaging 13.7 miles an hour, and it still says the battery is completely full. So that's good news, because when I read the claimed 60 miles range, depending on how much you're just using the motor, how much you're using the assist, I thought the way that I ride, there's no way we're getting 60 miles, but I've been going uphill for 5 miles straight, and so far we're kind of bouncing between 0 bars and 1 little slice. So I assume that means like we're still well above 80% in the first 5 miles. Beautiful views from up here this time of year. I really wanted to do a few trips up here. I'll be doing this video, a video on another big wheel bike, and then I will be doing a Sur-Ron video up here as well, seeing the maximum range you can get out of a Sur-Ron. So that should be a lot of fun, something to really look forward to. Now this is a hardtail, but I am really impressed so far with how smooth it feels on these rough roads. The big tires, there's just a lot of suspension in there, and I'm sure if I dialed in tire pressure, obviously the lower the pressure, the more suspension you have, the higher the pressure, the better range you're gonna have. So I bet if I dialed that in, depending on what type of riding I wanted to do, I could really get a lot out of this bike. Almost 10 miles in, and this is the first downhill section. This is just the battery killer road. It is all uphill, just crazy. Now this does have cable brakes, not hydraulic brakes. That's part of where you get your savings and overall cost of the bike, but honestly they're pretty stiff. Like, you could definitely do a stoppie on this thing. No problem at all. And it's really an enjoyable experience. I would never want to do this with just a regular bike, even a fat tire bike, but with a little bit of assistance, you're gonna cover a lot of ground. It's really peaceful out here by yourself. Quick test for you guys, just to show you, even with the battery halfway dead from a complete stop on this rough terrain, completely uphill. You don't need to pedal if you don't want to, which is a really good thing. If you get tired of pushing, the bike can just do the work for you for a while. So I like having that option because, like I said, I am not into bikes for the exercise. I just really enjoy them, especially electric bikes. So here we are. Beautiful ride. I'll just shut up, let you guys enjoy the view. This is one of the best dirt bike hill climbs here that I will be going down on this thing once I get to the top. Came across 3 deer. I just turned my GoPro off too. That's the beauty about being up here on electric bikes. We run into so many deer, skunks, eagles. Oh, you can see the lake all fogged over in between the mountains. I started in my backyard. I am pretty dang spoiled, that is for sure. Look at that. I'm glad they don't clear cut this high because I really like seeing the lake through the trees. It's wonderful. The mud is really stunting our progress now. Steep uphill. We have to be getting low on battery. And the mud just makes it require so much more torque to go uphill. All right, this thing has been really impressive making it this far. Couldn't quite make it to the summit, but honestly I think I'm probably 3-4 miles away. I would just keep pedaling it manually, but I want a little bit battery left to have headlights when I make it back to the street on the way home. So yeah, this thing is going right through the mud, even with those tires, cruising right along. And we've gone over 12 miles completely uphill in the mud, in the cold. I'm considering that a win. So the next test is going to be cruising around town, cruising around the beach, seeing what kind of range I get there, hitting the mountain bike trails, seeing what it does on really steep hills. So this is going to be a fun one, but time to hit those dirt bike hill climbs on the way down and really test this thing out way beyond what it's intended for. Still an average speed of over 12 miles an hour, and that was uphill. All right, let's see what this thing does downhill in the mud. Now that we're gonna have a little bit of speed with us. You can see the tracks and how far we were sinking down into the mud. It was really quite impressive. And we're gonna really put these brakes to the test. This mud is no joke. It is so slick. I gotta get used to my rear brake being on the right side. It's the opposite on the Sur-Ron. But hey, this is also a really good test for those fenders. So far, I'm really impressed. They don't look like much, but man, They keep it off you. Man, we're just cruising. This is nice. When I took it out of the box, I did not see it being this capable. Just jump that roller. It's so smooth, so quiet. Got both tires on the air on that one. All right, this is one of the gnarlier hill climbs here, at least until you get to the top. So let's really put these brakes to the test, and tires for that matter. This is just giant wet rocks and mud. And again, this is definitely way rougher terrain than it was intended for, but so far, so good. Oh, I'm such an idiot. If this was dry, the bike would be handling it no problem. But as is, I'm just having to brake a little bit harder than the tires have grip for. Oh, great fun. Great fun. Definitely should have brought boots. At least hiking boots, you know? I'm just such an idiot. Hey, this is chill. That fall was definitely user error. If I'd have trusted the bike a little more, it wasn't quite as heavy on the brakes, I would have been just fine. Woo! That was scary at the end. I don't know if I was gonna make it over those giant rocks. Well, there you have it. It's capable of more than you would ever want to actually do with this. All right, we've made it back to pavement. It is totally dark. All you have to do is hold the plus arrow and you get yourself lights, and the display lights up too. That's actually really cool. Now other motorists can see me. And we still have power, so we're crushing. Yeah, now we're hitting the speed. All right, one more hill and we're basically home. Let's turn this thing up to 5 and see if we can't finish off that battery. I still have power. Pretty impressive. So this bike has a few cool features. The fenders, they're huge. They don't let any water, snow, dirt at you really, which is really cool. Also, the battery is completely removable with a lock. So you could take it out, charge it in your house, bring it back down, or if you're in maybe the not of nicest neighborhoods, you can just bring it with you when you go inside. The shifter is really smooth. It happens really fast. It's awesome to help control the bike. And there are 5 different speed modes. So on 1, you barely feel the pedal assist, but it's definitely there, especially uphill. 2 is pretty close to that, just a little more power. 3 is where you can start just pulling the throttle and going forward without any pedal pretty fast. And then 4 and 5 are really fast, full pedal assist. On 5, if you just barely tap the pedals, it'll go really hard. The way that the power delivers is really smooth. And when you hit the brakes, it cuts the power, so it's not going to try to push through and make you fall. It's really safe in that way. And if you're going on the throttle and you're not pedaling, you're just twisting the throttle, there's this red button here. You just hit that, it cancels the pedal assist, and you'll come to a slow stop. Also, the forks are adjustable. Haven't had time to play with that yet, but I'm sure that helps you get your ride dialed. And best part are just these fat tires and the fact that this bike isn't that expensive at all. It's quite affordable. And it sends. Here we are, just ripping through 6 inches of snow like it's nothing. So I'm excited to take this up on the ski resort this year and have some fun.